Hey guys, Rob Hogue here, doing a little bit of pre-spawn cold front fishing today. Alright guys, let me give you a little rundown of what we're facing here today. We got water temperatures at 45 degrees. I was here just 5 days ago and the water temperature was in the mid 50s. So we had a major cold front come through, and all these fish were already pushed up shallow, feeding up, getting ready to spawn and things like that. And then that cold front hit and it kind of just pulls everything back a little bit. And that's the way you gotta kind of have to look at locating these bass during the pre-spawn when you get a major cold front come through. Normally where I like to start is I'm gonna go, since I know where they were pre-spawning, I'm gonna look for that first piece of structure closer to that deeper water. A little bit deeper water, that's where they're gonna move. They're gonna move from those shallows, move back to that first piece of structure, first piece of cover in that little bit of deeper water where it's a little more warmer temperatures. So we'll get after this today. I brought a lot of rods, a lot of different things could work right now, and we're just gonna go through our progressions and try to figure out what's gonna work. What's going on? So what I did here was, first of all, I downsized my lures a little bit because I figured the bite was gonna be a little tougher. Hold on. Go a little. This is my second fish. It's a little rat. All right, so what I did was, you can see what I'm throwing. I'm just throwing a little, a very small little jig. It's a 1/4 ounce jig with a small Zoom Vibe trailer. I bit most of it off because I want that smaller profile. But all I did was I came onto this steeper bank here. It's kind of in between two spawning coves. Wind's blowing on it a little bit, so hopefully that'll activate them a little bit. But I just found this lay down here. It just looks like it's a piece of cover on good structure for this type of situation we're in this. We had a big cold front come through. It's still really cold, and it pulled those bass out of the real shallow water that they were in. I am up to 47 degree water, so I had about a 7 degree drop in water temperature. So I'm just working this little brush pile here, this little lay down, right on this steep drop off. I've caught 2 already, that small one you guys just saw, and then I caught one that was about 2.5. So I'm just gonna work this real slow with that slow jig, and hopefully we can get into a couple more. Remember that lay down is going to go from shallow water to deep water, so I'm going to fish the whole lay down. I'm going to fish the shallower side and the deeper side. And all I'm doing, I'm kind of trying to figure out what they want. I'm kind of mixing it, I'm dragging it until I feel a limb. Then I'll give it a little shake, and then I'll kind of pop it over that limb. Because this is a light jig, I'm not using a heavy rod. I'm using a 7-foot medium heavy. I'm still using a 7:1 gear ratio. But I didn't want to use a real heavy rod because then I wouldn't be able to get this bait out there. But I'm going to attack this lay down at different angles. I just swam that one. I fished the spot I wanted to fish. That's a cool little trick. I got done fishing that log, and I moved. There was another small piece of cover over there. I casted to it, popped it a couple times, and then I said, screw it, I'll just start swimming it back to the boat. That's the beauty of like these small little structure jigs. This is a Strike King Denny Browder structure jig. They swim very well too. So, and with that that Zoom Vibe Shad trailer, or Vibe Crawl trailer on the back, it's got pretty good action to swim. So we might have tapped into the color here, which would be awesome. So I'm just gonna mess around with this little area and see if I can get one anywhere else swimming. That might be a good one, guys. Switch that spinnerbait. That might be a good fish. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, there we go. There we go, that's a better one. Look at that. Oh, on the trailer hook, guys. On the trailer hook. I'll tell you about that in a second. Look, there's a good one, right? Yeah, that's the kind we're looking for. That's why you go out fishing on a cold front right there, guys. Alright, I want to show you something, guys. Like I said, we're just cold front fishing in this pre-spawn. The water's up to 47.3 degrees. Now, this is just a double Colorado blade spinnerbait, white and chartreuse. I want to get back in there pretty quick because a lot of times they could be bunched up. Let me just fix this. Now look at that. I got a trailer hook on there. I'm always going to be fishing a trailer hook, and that's the reason why. If I wasn't throwing a trailer hook, I would not have caught that fish. So definitely get yourself some spinnerbaits with trailer hooks, or you can buy some VMC trailer hooks and put them on there. Normally the 2-aught is all you're going to need. Hey guys, I just want to kind of wrap up the day today. We had a pretty good day. We caught, I think it was 9 total, and we did catch a couple of good ones, and I just kind of want to go over the day just to give you a better understanding of what was going on. We obviously had the big cold front move in the last couple days. The water temperatures were down about 8 degrees, and that can really shut down the bite. And what we did going in was we wanted to attack that first piece of cover away from the shallows into that little deeper water, and that's typically what all the textbooks say to do, so to speak. And one thing I want to let you know, when we're talking about research and we're saying generally this is what they do, or we're talking about seasonal habits, remember those are just general starting points. All it does for you is it gives you a good starting point, and it eliminates a lot of dead water, but you still need to make your adjustments out on the water and kind of fine tune it for your specific situation, your specific lake on that given day. So just keep that in mind, that just because the seasonal habits say this is what they're going to be doing, doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly what they're going to be doing on any given lake, any given day. So just use it as a starting point, make your adjustments out on the water, and you'll do really well. But today we had a pretty good day. We started at that typical area. We started that deeper water in between the 2 spawning coves, and fished the bank for a little bit. Wasn't catching anything. We came up on a laydown that went all the way from the shallow to deep water on that steep drop off, and we were able to catch 3 on the small little structure jig. And that's one tip I will tell you. A lot of times when fishing pressure is high, or the bite's a little tough, or the weather kind of threw you a curveball, a lot of times downsizing your stuff is going to help you catch more fish. But we caught, I think, 3 off that jig. Went down, moved down, and fished another piece of timber on that steep bank, and caught a 3.5 pounder on a spinnerbait. So I continued to run with that the rest of for more of the day, and just wasn't getting bit. So just like I told you guys in the fishing cover or locating bass in the pre-spawn, I like to work outside in. That's kind of my general theory on locating fish. So we already fished the deeper water, stopped getting bit. I looked at my fish finder and I realized the water temperature was back up in the mid 48 range, and so I decided to look for wood, because that was the common denominator in all our bites, was the timber. So I decided to look for the timber that was in a little bit shallower water but still had deep water close by, and what I did was I pulled up to a beaver hut. This lake has a lot of beaver huts in all different parts of the lake, and this particular one was the first one I stopped at because it had deep water close by. And first toss, I threw that spinnerbait alongside of it, and 414 hit it. Unfortunately, video wasn't on. I thought it was on. I was talking to the camera like it was on, but unfortunately it wasn't. If you want to see pictures of that fish, you can go to my Facebook page, and they're posted. But after that beaver hut, I moved to 2 other ones that were close to deep water, and caught fish off each of them. So the wood was definitely the deal today. That deeper water, either in deeper water or close by, was a big player. But I only caught fish on 2 baits. I had 9 poles with me, all rigged up with something else that could have worked, but all my damage was done with this little Strike King Denny Brower structure jig, 1/4 ounce, peanut butter and jelly color. And I put that, I paired it with a Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Crawl, green pumpkin with purple and green fleck. And what I did was I ripped all the appendages off of this except the 2 little legs, and I cut it in half. And that just gave it the profile I wanted with the jig, that smaller profile. But that worked really well. And then a 3/8 ounce Strike King double Colorado blade chartreuse and white spinnerbait was the ticket. And if you notice, I had a trailer hook on there, and like I said in the video, very important, I always throw spinnerbaits with a trailer hook. You might get hung up a little bit more, but 3 of those fish I wouldn't have caught today if it wasn't for that trailer hook. So definitely a big factor. So that's pretty much it. I hope this video helps you guys, and we'll talk to you again soon, guys. Thanks.